The Dougie and Deb podcast is sponsored by Isla Be Bridal Nuneaton. Book an appointment today and shop for all your wedding needs. Visit islabebridal.co.uk.
Hi everybody and welcome to the first ever Dougie and Deb podcast. Coming up in today's show, we've got an interview with the amazing Jimmy from 90s boy band 911. He'll be telling us all about what it's like for the band right now with COVID, future tour in 2021, and a little bit of the past as well. We're going to go digging, why not?
Oh, exciting.
Why not?
We have the first Dougie versus Deb challenge where we have 30 seconds to come up with as many COVID-related famous names as we can. Last man or last woman standing.
It's going to be personal as well.
Oh, yes.
For sure. Very competitive, you?
Yep.
Very competitive. Can't wait for that. Then we have the Rewind Challenge. It's your chance to get involved. 3 famous songs back to back, but they're in reverse. Can you tell us what they are?
Ooh, and then to finish the show, we are going to take you in our time machine. And this week, we are going back to the year of 1983.
Good year.
Yes.
Good year. Great music as well. Can't wait for that. That is all coming up in the next hour of the first ever Dougie and Deb podcast. Get the kettle on, get the snacks ready. It's going to be an amazing show. Right, hi everybody in podcast land. Welcome to the first ever Dougie and Deb podcast. I am joined now and for eternity in podcast land by my co-presenter Deb. Say hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Right, okay, so we've got a monster first show.
We do.
Bigger than we ever expected.
Yep.
Coming up very shortly is an exclusive interview with Jimmy from 911.
Oh, exciting.
Now, you told me 5 minutes before we started recording this that you, back in the day, and probably still now, are a huge 911 fan.
Oh, definitely.
And you made the mistake of telling me
I did.
a funny 911 related story.
I did. I mean,
Far
I
away.
needed to call 911. It was that bad.
Go do
So
it.
picture this. So I'm 11 years old. I'm at a particular store in Coventry getting an autograph by 911.
Back in the day when you could get CDs for a shop.
But back in the day when you can be with people.
Well, this is true, yeah. Oh, the world's changed.
Yeah, queuing for hours and hours. And I goes up to the desk, 911 are there. I'm completely starstruck because I'm a big fan. And I automatically go to Lee, who's in the middle. And I'm like, hello, have a photo taken.
Was Lee your favourite?
Yeah, only because he was like the main.
It's right. We've pre-recorded the interview. Jimmy will never know.
singer.
It's fine. Yeah, no, Lee was your favourite.
But Jimmy and Spike were amazing.
Jimmy's my
Amazing.
favourite.
Yeah,
I've said it. Yeah,
there you
bang.
go. There you go. And I was just so chuffed I'd got Lee's photo and autograph that I just kind of like strolled off and not realising that I'd actually not got an autograph from Jimmy or Spike's. And then I tried to get back in. The security guard was like, no, you're not coming back in, I'm afraid.
Is that how he sounded? This big butch guy on a CD shop saying, "No, sorry, you can't come back in." Brilliant.
Yeah,
I can picture it. Only in Coventry. Only in Coventry.
So I was devastated.
However, you have had a little bit of good news because when we spoke to Jimmy earlier on, he did say off camera he was going to sort you out some tickets for later on in the year.
I'm so excited.
So you have had a result. So if anyone wants to go with her, please do.
Please. I mean, my 11-year-old self is actually screaming right now.
Now. It is a monster interview for our first ever podcast. We're so proud. We've got so much coming up. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I'm really excited. This is a really big thing. So we decided to do this. We're both singers. Both our careers have gone down the pan, quite frankly, due to COVID, like many have.
Yeah.
And we just sat down one day and thought, do you know what? What can we do? Mainly, firstly, to put a smile on our faces, give us something to do, something creative. And then it's suddenly taken on a mind of its own. We've had artwork, Facebook pages. This is going to be on Google Podcasts. And you could. So make sure you subscribe. Wherever you're listening to this, whatever your provider is, make sure you subscribe. And there's going to be a new episode drop every Wednesday.
Exciting.
Don't know why we picked Wednesday.
Yeah, hump day.
Hump day. I suppose it's the one day when you need that little push to get over the hump.
Over the hump.
And hopefully this podcast will put a smile on your face.
Definitely.
And that's what this is. It's a podcast full of smiles. There are so many podcasts out there that are about one subject. We've listened to a few, and yes, I mean, if you're into fishing and you listen to a fishing, it's an hour of someone talking about fishing. Great, no problem with that. But we wanted to do something a bit different. Every week we're going to bring you a different interview. As I say, we've got Jimmy from 90s boy band 911, but we've got loads coming up in the series. We've also got our challenge.
Yeah.
Now, we're both competitive, aren't we?
Oh, very.
Very competitive.
Oh,
so
dear.
Every week, the public, the general public, you beautiful people out there are going to set us a challenge, hopefully one that's suitable for podcasts. Otherwise, like press-ups is not going to work.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm winning. I'm doing 100 press-ups as we speak. They're never going to know. So something
I'll
suitable.
record it.
This week, we've been set the challenge to come up with as many COVID-related names of celebrities as we can.
Yeah.
So things like, I will give one away that came up earlier on in rehearsals, when you came out with Ed Sheeran's alter ego.
Yeah.
Spread Sheeran.
Absolutely.
Spread as in, whatever. We're not making light of it, but what else can you do? We're locked down. It's happening. Yeah. So that's coming up, and that's quite tense, that is.
Yeah, and it's all tongue-in-cheek. It's all going to be fun, and do get involved as well.
Absolutely. We've got to want your ones afterwards as well. Yeah. Also, we've got the Rewind Challenge. Now, this is thrown over to you. We've got 3 songs, back-to-back, very, very famous songs.
Yes.
Very famous songs. And to let you know, when Deb first heard it, she got 1 out of 3.
I know. Really bad.
Actually did.
Really bad.
And a few people I've said haven't got any. Oh. They are 3 iconic songs.
Yeah.
But they are in reverse, Craig David style. Rewind.
When the crowd say "Bo, select,"
I knew you were going to do that. I'll set you up. So you are going to have to message in, email us, and send us a Facebook message when you get them later on. Let us know. So as you hear it and you get all 3, send them in. We want to know. Yeah. And your little section that you love is our little time machine.
Yes, absolutely. So this week we are taking you back to the year of 1983.
Can't wait. Great year. Great music. Great films and great music that year.
Absolutely. So dig out your leg warmers. Let's put our flares on. Well, not our flares, our tutus and anything bright and neon. And we're going to just forget about 2021.
Absolutely. Right, it is now interview time, and we have pulled out a biggie for you.
We have.
This is a big one as well. For our first ever interview, we have gone large. We are taking you back now to the 90s, and actually 1995 to be precise.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember 1995?
I was 11.
Man, you're so old. This man was a little bit older than us, and he was touring the world. He was part of Trio 911 with Lee and Spike, and they literally took over the world. In 5 years together, 911 scored 10 UK top singles and sold more than 6 million albums worldwide.
Wow.
How many have you sold? 4.5.
Yeah.
And they're in your mum's basement. Their hits include a cover of the Bee Gees classic More Than a Woman, Body Shaking, which is a bit of a popular one of theirs, and the smash hit A Little Bit More, which went to number 1 in 1998. And Jimmy joins us on the line now. Hi Jimmy, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Hi mate, we're good. We're going to pretend we haven't been chatting for the last 10 minutes.
No, not at all.
Be professional. How's things? How is COVID life treating you?
Like most people, it's hard, it's frustrating at times, tiring at times, mentally draining at times. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but, I've got kids and, trying to juggle kind of school and homeschooling and all that kind of stuff. Same as everybody else is out there. It's just madness. And I think, to be honest, I think it's because it's the unexpected. We've never had to face this before. So it's not like you can turn around and go, oh, we'll do this and this like we did when we did this. It's like, this is completely new. And, now they're telling us, we can't go out and we can't do certain things, and it's putting a limit on everything. So it's not like we've even got a chance of thinking of something that is to get us through it, because we don't know what's going to happen every day.
No.
So I'm like everybody else, going mad.
So what are you doing now? I know you said off camera. What are you up to nowadays? Obviously, 911's obviously on pause and singing. So what are you doing to pass the time, Jimmy, at the minute?
So obviously, when lockdown first happened in March, we were in the middle of a tour which was called the Boys Are Back tour. So there was us 5, Damage, A1, and and we'd done about 20 odd dates, and we had about 15 left. And they basically said, right, that's it, you're done now. You're, you know, you can't carry on. We had obviously tours over to Asia. We had tours that were big arena tours with like a 90s thing. Yeah. Everything was knocked on the head. And there's a guy called Tony Morrison, who's our tour manager, but the band manager and also my solo manager, owns a company called Fast Ambulance. And we basically got to a situation where, you know, extra staff were needed. And, you know, I was also kind of twiddling my thumbs thinking, well, I can't do anything at the minute. So at this moment in time, on and off for what's been now 10 months, I've been driving ambulances and kind of helping out with the front line and the NHS. So it's been a bit different and a bit of an eye-opener.
Brilliant. That's amazing. Have you got any plans in place for when it, I suppose you even know when it's going to come back? I suppose you can't book arenas and stuff, or have you got dates in the future selling tickets with the hope that
you know what, they've actually, the tour that we had to postpone in March, they've actually moved the dates twice already, because it was then moved to October, then they moved it to February, and then we got an email literally a week before Christmas to say the February tour's now been moved to September. And you know, the other dates of the other tours have not even come in yet. I think they're probably just holding back now and going, there's no point in putting any more dates in until people give us a bit of an all clear. So from that point of view, it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, I'm due to film a new solo single for myself, and we don't even know what's going to happen with that at the minute. We can't even start making any plans, because although they've given us probably middle of February to finish this lockdown, who knows what's going to happen after that. So there's no point in booking people to, you know, for your production, your lights and cameras, when they, you know, we just don't know what's going to happen after that. So we're just going to have to wait till the lockdown and just hope for the best, I think.
Wow. So where do you, without sounding too personal, and answer it if you want to, you don't have to. For us, obviously, when we get a show cancelled, that's it. You know, there's no, do you have a contract where you get paid regardless? Because I think people have got a misconception that pop stars are all millionaires and they're all fine. Gary Barlow's doing his Facebook live shows and he's absolutely minted, as we all know. But obviously, where do you stand? Do you get paid regardless, without sounding too personal? Or is it a case of, I need another job to get us through, like we had to do? Or?
You were talking about before COVID kicked in and the lockdown, you know, you always have a cancellation process within the contract, which basically just means if they cancel, you know, whatever it is in the contract, a week or 2 weeks before the gig, you know, they pay 50% up front. They don't get a deposit back, so, like most businesses. But since the COVID's happened, you know, any gig now, it's one of those things that, you know, it's uncontrollable. So if a gig gets cancelled or a tour gets cancelled, there's nothing you can do. You just got to hope for the best and move on and just kind of wait for the tour to kick in again.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, obviously, you know, obviously not as, you know, as big as, you know, the likes of the Gary Barlow and all the rest of it is. We're lucky enough that, you know, we've made money, you know, so we can't kind of go, well, it's, you know, we need to go out and, you know, earn our keep. We're lucky in the way that, you know, we've got work and we've had work for the past 2 years or longer or whatever it is. But it also means that you've got to stop and you've literally got nothing left to do. You know, I can sit at home and I can see my kids, but they've got the schoolwork to do as well. So on a personal basis, you know, I didn't want to get through lockdown and think that I never actually did anything and I just sat at home. So from that point of view, you know, it helped to kind of obviously come here, do the ambulance stuff as well. And obviously just kind of keep myself sane, seeing people and obviously seeing Tony most days, who obviously has been our tour manager for 7 years. So otherwise it would just be me sat at home like everybody else. So it was an opportunity to help, but also an opportunity to stay a bit sane as well, I think.
No, mate, I think it should be commended. I think there's so many people out there doing, I think what you're doing is amazing. It really is. Okay, so can we talk a bit of 911? Are we allowed to go back in time a little bit? Just if nothing else, to make Deb very happy.
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually celebrating this. Actually, no, we're in January now, so it's 25 years for us this year.
Oh no,
that makes me feel old.
That's impressive, and I feel
sorry about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the original plan was that we were, well, you know, obviously we're still hoping it's going to happen, but to do like a 25-year anniversary tour but make it like a kind of an evening with. So you would kind of have like screens and put photographs and videos up, and we would talk about where we were when, you know, we shot the Don't Make Me Wait video, and we had to fly straight down to the Brits Awards, and just so it was like a bit of a kind of conversation as well as everything else. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that this year we can kind of do 25-year celebration.
Are you marking that down? You're marking this. She's marking it down.
I'll be buying my ticket. Don't you worry about that.
Right. You don't need to buy a ticket, don't you worry? We'll sort you out.
Oh, they are. That's not bad, is it?
Oh, amazing!
See, it's not what you know. See, it's not what you know.
Exactly.
So what's the biggest? It fascinates me. This. What's the biggest difference, apart from age, obviously, between your relationship with the boys now? When you go on tour now, it's well documented problems and bits and pieces in the past, which is inevitable when you put 3 young men, give them a few quid and send them off on tour. That problems are going to arise no matter who you are. I don't care, you know, anybody. But what's the differences now? When you go on tour with the boys now, what are the major differences between now and when you were probably at the peak of your fame in the mid-90s?
I think when you were, you know, back in the day, I think when you're 3 northern single blokes, you know, you can imagine what life was like. I mean, obviously, it was a bit different because we never had, you know, how should I put it? We never had kind of cameras and photographs and that kind of stuff. It was the newspapers, you know, and that was it.
Yeah, thank God.
We never really had a lot of kind of kiss and tells either. But I think the relationship has always been, first and foremost, that we put the band together ourselves. So we put it together as, you know, as friends, not as, you know, pressurized from a record company or whatever it is. I think the big difference now is it's about what you get from the job. Because obviously me being married and kids is that, you know, my most important thing in life is my family. So if say, for example, I'm at a gig, I don't know, an hour away, I'll do the gig and I'll go home. So if I can go home and wake up with my kids in the morning, then that's happy for me. In the old days, you know, as you can imagine, we would literally come off stage and probably go to the nearest club and probably not remember much of the night. So that's the big difference in the gig. Relationship wise, I think we'll always be fine. You know, we've always been mates. We've never really had a major fallout. I mean, and I think that stems from just the fact that we weren't put together. We weren't in a pressurized container of putting 3 personalities together and hoping for the best. You know, we kind of sussed each other out for the first year. We never got signed. You know, we had to hire our own van and go and do what they call school tours. So we would go in, we would lug all the gear into the school, set it all up, do the performance, move on to the next school. And we did that for a year and until we released our first single. So it stems from that kind of relationship. I think that's why, you know, 25 years on, you can still have a great relationship and be kind of mates.
Do you think that helps, having that grounding of being on that level? I mean, I'm on that level where I have to go and set up my own gear and bits and pieces and earning a few hundred quid, you know, cash in hand sometimes. You know what it's like? And building that fan base before you get started. Do you think that's helped the longevity side of it? Because a lot of these One Directions and these bands, they, as you say, thrown together, they've never known anything but thousands of women screaming at them, and they break up and burn out so quickly. Do you think that's a secret to that success?
I think that's probably, if you had to pinpoint one, I think that would be it, because I think it's the getting to know of each other's personalities. Because, you know, you can, even the simple things, you know, you can go in, like, for example, you know, even when we used to do our big tours, and still to this day, is that everybody has a ritual, like what they do before they go on stage. Yeah. So I'll say, for example, for me, I like to go and lie down for like 20 minutes and in a quiet room and just kind of get my thoughts together. Wow. Lee likes to go through his vocal warm-ups, but in his own room, doesn't like anybody being around. And Spike likes to kind of just put a load of loud music on and start dancing. So these little things that we would say they're the smallest minute things all help when you're in certain pressurized situations, because you know exactly how each other's going to react. and you're there for them. You've got their back. And that's how you build a relationship, and that's how you build the friendship. And I suppose in a way you protect them from the environment. So I certainly help. I think that definitely helps the way that we were kind of, I suppose the first year where the pressure wasn't on us, we just kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Not only that, I wonder, so in your rider with 911, do you make sure that you're not next to Spike's room when you're having your lie down? Because that's not going to work.
No, I mean, obviously, to this day, we have the same dressing room, and it's, we always have done, we always will do.
Yeah.
Because that, again, comes from the way we were at the very beginning. We've never reached that diva side of it where it's like we want our own rooms. It's like we share a room because that's the way it's done with us. We're there as three people, and we enjoy it as it is, and we enjoy the banter and all the rest of it. So that's never going to change for us.
No, quality.
Absolutely not. Right, Jimmy, so one section of our show is we go back and revisit a certain year in time in our time machine.
1983 we're going back to this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Great year.
Good
year
year
before I was born.
Good
But
year.
anyway, if you could go back in time and relive a 911 moment, what would that be?
Can I have two?
Yes.
Oh, only because we like you.
Yeah,
Go on.
And the only reason I say this is because when we first lived in Glasgow and we had no record company, we were signing on a dole, we didn't even know anything was going to happen. We made this pact between the three of us, or not, I wouldn't say a pact, but we said, wouldn't it be great if we do Wembley Arena? Now, obviously, bearing in mind, we were three blokes with nothing. And
a hell of a premonition at that age.
Yeah. And
that.
the hard work that went into doing that. And then the first time we ever did our first arena tour, which I think was called the Journey So Far tour, I think it was. We, all three of us, stood on Wembley Arena stage before they let anybody in and just looked out and went, do you remember that conversation we had around the coffee table? Just as a memory. So that kind of sticks out as one. I think the second one is we were very, very big touring wise. We were a bit even bigger in Asia and then every album was 8 to 9 times platinum. It was ridiculous. But we did a football stadium in Singapore, which was 60,000 people. And the moment of standing there and them singing your songs back to you without you even singing is just, the hairs on the back of the neck is kind of an understatement for that. So they're my 2 points that I'll always remember.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. We were looking through it actually. Some of the, I mean, it was an era filled with boy bands. Let's be honest, it was an era. But you guys stood out. I mean, in 5 years together, 10 UK top 10 singles. I'm seeing it sold 6 million records worldwide. What would be, if you had to pick a song, and we're going to do this later on, but it intrigued me, there was a few covers in there. Was there one song that you instantly heard and went, oh my God, that's a 911 song? You kind of, when you're in the studio, whether it be a cover or one of your own, one that made you go, that's a song that stands out as a 911 song.
Well, when we first got together and we were just getting into the songwriting, we've always been involved in songwriting, but as you can imagine, when we began in the band, we weren't very good, basically. That you kind of learn your trade as you go along. And we wrote a couple of B-sides and stuff like that. I mean, they don't have B-sides anymore, which shows you how old it is. But it was kind of one of those things. Basically, a guy called John McLaughlin, who was a songwriter, knocked on the door and went, right, can I write some songs for you? And we were a bit like, no, you're all right, we can do it ourselves. But then we had to kind of be realistic and go, have you heard some of the stuff that we've written? It's not great.
Yeah.
Anyway, he came in with this song, Body Shaking. And it was because we were, we grew up on, or certainly me and Spike, we grew up on R&B and hip hop and stuff. And that it kind of had that kind of R&B beat at the back of it.
Yeah.
And we knew that our shows was going to be breakdancing, the flips, everything. And we just kind of heard it and went, that fits perfectly what we're, what the kind of show that we want to put on stage. So Body Shaking was an instant hit that we knew it was just, we had to have it. And a funny story later on in years was that we'd already done, I think, our third album, I think it was, a second or third album. And John wrote another song called When the Lights Go Out.
Oh, wow.
And that was meant to be 911's second kind of big hit, if you like. Or not big hit, but second follow-up to Body Shaking.
Right, yeah.
And unbeknown to us, our record company turned it down, and obviously Five took it then.
Yeah.
Oh.
So obviously...
Oh.
That's
we-
just came to my head. I was thinking.
So now, whenever you hear that, and it's quite a big hit for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, when we've been on the Boys Are Back tour with Five,
Oh,
they know the story as well. So
wow.
they keep winding us up about it. So yeah,
Oh.
No.
I can tell you another one if you like, another song.
Yeah.
Say You Be There by the Spice Girls.
No way.
Oh,
I mean, that's only a little song. That didn't do very well, did it?
oh my God.
Oh.
That was written by a guy called Elliot Kennedy, and we spent 6 months in Elliot's house while we were doing the first album.
Yeah.
And Spice Girls had just been put together. Obviously, we were on the same record label, Virgin, with Spice Girls.
Wow.
So Elliot was doing songs for them as well. And then we had Say You'll Be There, and we were like, we demoed it. And again, I'm not sure the record company turned it down. I think they did one of their sneaky ones of going, nah, we don't really like it, because they already thought we'll have that for the Spice Girls. So that was another one.
Wow.
Oh my.
I feel like we're getting an exclusive here.
I know.
I feel like it's a bit of a sneaky exclusive. I quite like it.
Stories on the inside, isn't it?
I love that. Love that.
Oh,
Record
God.
that. It was good. That was
Absolutely.
good. I tell you what I've got to ask you, and we're old enough to remember it the first time round, but the one that people kind of sticks in my mind is the big reunion.
Yeah.
Tell us how that came around and what it was like being in a room. We can only see a certain part of it, obviously, with an awful lot of egos and how that all played out for you guys as well.
The initial phone call came from a guy called Michael Kelpie, who's the producer of, you might have seen Potato Productions.
Yes.
And they do The Chase, what's the Gladiator one? The Ninja one.
Yeah.
And loads of others. So he basically got a call and he said, can you come in and have a chat? And we went in, got this idea. So he actually took us to the pub next door. And basically we got absolutely leathered, all of us. And we started telling him some of the stories of what had happened in the old days. And he loved it. And he was like, this is exactly what we want for this TV show, because we want the backstories of exactly how it happened, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, it kind of, people were and ahhing whether to do it or not, because we didn't know how it was going to turn out. We didn't know whether, not so much that it was going to be a success, but do we really want to reveal too much of ourselves? Because obviously, as people knew that, you know, I kind of dabbled in drugs and alcohol and all the rest of it. So it was a question that you were going, well, I don't mind saying it. It's not that. It's just that I've got a family with kids now. Yeah. And as much as they're not going to watch it, I didn't really want them to see it even in a later time. But anyway, we eventually started doing it. They filmed a lot of stuff, and obviously there was a lot of egos. But I think what we just decided was, you know what, it's either all or nothing for us. We'll say it as it is. If people don't like it, then don't listen. You know what I mean? We're not going to kind of just cover over it. Obviously, there was a lot of that going on with the other bands, but that was their choice. We just decided that if we were doing it, it was all or nothing. Which is how we met our manager, tour manager Tony, because they were brought on as the security for Big Reunion. So that kind of how it all kind of went on from there, really. But yeah, it was great. It was it was great to be back on tour and doing. I think it was like first time around was 12 arenas. Then they decided to do Christmas 12 arenas again. We'll do matinee shows at the O2. So to do the O2 in I think 4-6 times or whatever it was incredible. So it was just a great opportunity, really.
Amazing. Jimmy, well, thank you so much. We're not going to take any more of your time. Massive honour to have you on our first ever podcast. But what we're going to do, when we first put this together, we thought we were going to be interviewing plumbers and people like that. And we've got Jimmy from 911, and you're very quiet, which is not like you at all.
Yeah, this is it.
I'll get you around more often, mate. If you shut her up, it's brilliant. what we're going to do is we were going to put John the plumber on a desert island, and I've run this by you earlier on. So we're going to put Jimmy from 911 on a desert island now. There's no COVID rules. No. Thank God. Sun shining, pina colada in hand. Now, what I need from you is you're allowed to you can take your tour manager with you if you want to. He sounds like a top lad. I don't mind that. Bring him with you. He's there, look.
He said he's had enough. I just want to know.
No, I'll stay here. It's fine. You can take with you on this desert island, you can take one 911 song to listen to for eternity. Sorry. It's themed. We've got to stick with 911, haven't we?
And we have.
One 911 song for eternity. One celebrity crush to take with you. I'm sure your wife won't mind. Never think about that one. And also a film that you can watch. So we'll do the film first. What film would you take with you?
I actually watched this with my kids the other night. Probably shouldn't have watched it with my kids. But now that you're thinking about Desert Island, we actually watched Castaway.
Really?
Wow.
So I'm going to take that just because he had so many survival techniques and things that he found out. Be great on a desert island.
Very good. I like what you did there.
So yeah, I'm going to go with Castaway on that one.
It's a great film.
Like it.
It's a great film.
Like it.
Okay, so celebrity crush. Who would you take? They're usually, when we set this up for John.
I can't even finish the sentence. He's already getting in.
Yeah, what's he saying?
What is it saying?
I think it's got to be.
You're in trouble now.
Trying to be cool about it.
Hey, cool.
I think it's got to be Michelle Keegan. I think.
Right.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of lads going. Yeah.
I'll give you that. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I'll give you that. Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with that at all.
No.
The wife won't listen anyway. It doesn't matter. It's fine. And finally, and we'll end the interview and play a little bit out for you, a 911 song that you would take away and listen to for eternity.
I'll probably just go with, you want to try and keep a little bit upbeat, I guess, when you're kind of out there on your own, and a bit of hope. I'm going to go for Party People, just to keep the mood up.
Hello, how are you? Hello everyone, it's me, Mr. Tumble, and you're listening to the Dougie and Deb Podcast. Hooray! You sign, hooray. Good! Let's play together. Let's have fun with friends. We're all friends.
The Dougie and Deb podcast is sponsored by Isla B Bridal Nuneaton. Book an appointment today and shop for all your wedding needs. Visit islabbridal.co.uk.
It's time for Dougie versus Deb. The challenge. Alrighty then.
Yeah, that's right. Every week we will be set a challenge where we have to go head to head, you and me, baby.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
Ready.
I'm ready for this as well. I'm excited. So this week the challenge was to come up with as many COVID-related names as we could, celebrity names.
Yeah.
How have you got on with this?
I've not done too bad.
Struggling.
Yeah,
we've got 30 seconds to finalise a list.
Okay.
The list has to be written down so it could be verified and clarified. No cheating, I know what you're like. And then we are literally going to go at it, hammer and tongs, so to speak. Innuendo early on in the show. Right, okay. Are you ready for the 30-second countdown?
Ready.
The clock starts now. Oh, where's my pen? Hold on, I can't find my pen. Oh, no, I've got it. Right. Okay.
What's his name?
Literally words I've heard for the last year.
Okay, got it.
Oh, yeah. You're getting on.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. Look at my sheet of paper. Such a cheat. Right, okay then. So, how have you got on?
Not done too
Don't
bad.
tell me how many you got. Don't tell me how many you got. Right, so now what we need now is some dramatic music. Oh, that is dramatic music. I like that. Very good. Right, okay, Deb, you are up first.
Okay, Vincent van Gogh.
Very good. I've got Michael Bubble.
Little Vix.
Little Vix. That's very good. Little Vix. Very good. I've got Sean Lockdown.
I see what you're
Lockdown.
doing there.
Very good.
The Chew Fighters.
That's quite good. I've got, because of the miracle cure, I've got the Pfizer Chiefs. Pfizer Chiefs.
Epic. Spread Sheeran.
Spread Sheeran, that's good. Oh, that is good. I've got, you're right as well, it's a footballer, so you might not know. Thierry Henry.
Oh, yeah, I know.
A little bit tenuous, I grant you, but I like it.
Like it. Mask Hancock.
Mask Hancock. Used to be called a lot worse. What about this one? Louise Redknapp.
Love it. COVID Attenborough.
This one. Absolutely fantastic. Gary Furlow.
Oh, God. Okay, Sniff Richard.
Oh, what about this one? Ace Ventilator. Ace Ventilator. When COVID calls. COVID calls. Retro.
Okay, Michael Jabson.
I'm hoping you haven't got many more left now. This is my last one.
Okay.
Oh, you're looking really confident. Oh no, this is my last one.
Ooh.
I've got, please don't get it wrong, Vanilla Isolation. It's the best one, isn't it? Surely it's got to be the winner. God, it's that good.
No, I think I've got one to better that.
No, go on.
Ready?
Go on.
Tiny Temperature.
Oh, it's very good. Oh, it's very good. I'm out. Very good. This week's winner on the first ever Doug versus Deb competition is Deb. So that puts a very smug Deb 1-0 up in the challenges so far.
Yay.
Long way to go. If you have got a suggestion for a challenge that we can do in a future show, let us know. We're on all your socials, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, literally everywhere. If you search the Dougie and Deb podcast, you will find us.
Ooh, professional.
So go do it. Go and send us a little message, and we'll see if we can feature one of your challenges very soon.
Marilou, y'all get on in here now. It's Dougie and Deb on the podcast. Now I mean it, get in here, or I'll get the hose.
We got a hose.
Right, everybody, it is now competition time as we play.
Rewind. When the crowd say ball, select up.
Yes, thank you, Sir Craig David, for the intro. Right, okay, so the competition is simple. We are throwing it over to you. 3 songs, 3 very well-known songs.
Yep.
You didn't do so good on this, did you?
No, I think I got 1 out of 3.
You got 1 out of 3. Good luck, everybody. It's not a barometer, though, let's be honest. So, 3 well-known songs, little clips, the choruses, and they are in reverse. Craig David has reversed it.
Ooh, exciting.
Hence the rewind at the beginning.
Like it.
And you can get in touch. It's just for fun, but why not? Everyone wants to win. And you can get in touch by the following ways, Deb.
Absolutely. So you can contact us via Twitter and Facebook at Dougie and Deb Podcast, or email us at the Dougie and Deb Podcast at gmail.com.
So it is dead easy to get involved with the competition. And here are the 3 tracks that you need. So there they are. They are your 3 songs. 3 very well-known songs by 3 huge artists.
Yes, absolutely.
You didn't do very well. So once again, how can people get involved if they want to take part?
Okay, so you can contact us via Twitter or Facebook at Dougie and Deb Podcast, or email us at the Dougie and Deb Podcast at gmail.com.
It's a bit of fun. The barometer so far is 1. Deb's got 1. If you can beat that, get in touch. We want to hear from you. Good luck.
Rewind. When the crowd say bow, select up.
It's time for Dougie and Deb's time machine. Jump on board. Tally-ho, pip pip.
Right, it is the time of the podcast now where we are going to take a little trip in the Dougie and Deb time machine. That's patented, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
No one can nick that.
Nope.
Why they'd want to nick it, I don't know. But it is that time. We're going to take you back to a year. We've decided 2020 was rubbish. 2021 hasn't started the best. Let's be honest. What tier are we in now? God knows. Who knows? But we are going to take you back in our time machine, and we're going to take you back now to 1983.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. I bet Doctor Who's absolutely pooing his pants. No expense spared there. Right, okay, so we're going to take you back now to 1983. So, Deb, what happened in 1983?
So, Dougie, this classic TV show first aired.
Get your cares away, worries for another day. Let the music play. Down at Fraggle Rock.
That's right, Fraggle Rock debuted. It was one of HBO's first original programmes and was created by Jim Henson, famous for the Muppets.
Muppet, were you in that one?
Oh, cheeky.
You might have been.
Also, Mario Brothers game debuted in Japan, but it actually didn't become popular until 1985. Ooh. Popular toys that year, Cabbage Patch Kids.
Did you have one?
No, Glowworm. I think I had one of those.
Oh, okay, yeah. You'd been big. What year were you born?
1984.
So this is all alien to you. I'd have been probably a few months old. I was born at the end of 82, so I'm old but not that old.
Cutie.
I know.
So technology that year, the first mobile phone was introduced by Motorola Company. Have you actually seen the size of them?
Massive brick.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Humongous.
I said brick.
They were huge.
They were.
In politics land, Margaret Thatcher...
Politics land?
Yeah, politics land.
I love that. Politics land.
Margaret Thatcher won a landslide victory to become the UK Prime Minister.
Sure did.
Yes, absolutely.
I think back then everyone hated it.
Oh.
I can't help but think we might get her back. I don't know. Can it get any worse? I don't know.
Oh, I know. And in laws, UK laws, the seatbelt law was first introduced.
Okay, no jokes about that. That's a good one, to be fair.
Absolutely. And we're going to end this section.
Did you ever, very quickly, before we do it, did you ever get in the car when you were little before seatbelts? Because even when that was made law, I remember my dad very often going, "Oh, don't worry about it."
No.
Like, it might have been law, but I don't think they were that bothered back then. They were quite liberal.
No, I always had to wear mine.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Right, go on, carry on.
Okay. And then I'm going to finish my section on films for this year. The most popular films released this year by far was this one. Okay, so Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Wasn't Episode 6 then? Just saying.
What was it then?
Number 3.
Number 3?
Yeah, because obviously they changed it later on, didn't they? Back in the day, there was just 1, 2, 3, and then they decided that they were going to add prequels, so then they became 1, 2, and 3. So the ones you're talking about became 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And then they brought out the new ones recently, which were 7, 8, and 9.
Oh wow, Mr. Star Wars, right here.
So that one technically was number 6 out of the 9, but back in the 80s, people just thought it was film number 3. Carry on, you're right. It is Episode 6. But it was number 3 at the time. Carry on.
All right,
Correct
so also popular films. Flashdance, Get Your Leg Warmers Out, the female welder turned dancer. And the iconic song from the film, named after the film itself, was Flashdance.
I don't know anything about that one.
What a feeling!
Very good, very good.
It's amazing.
Almost in tune.
Staying Alive, starring John Travolta. Did you know the film was directed by Rocky himself, Sylvester Stallone?
Was he dressed as Rocky when he was doing it?
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it?
That's a sight, isn't
that
it?
would be good.
Rocky, right? Imagine topless, gloves on, shorts on, with Flashdance socks.
Oh,
that's a sight, isn't it?
Well, yeah, this is it.
It's a great sight.
This is it. Rocking out to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. And then Octopussy, number 13.
Octo what?
Octopussy.
Okay, fair enough.
Number 13 in the James Bond series, starring the legendary Roger Moore as 007. Amazing film.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Well,
A little bit of trivia.
good. Very good. I'm liking 1983. I want to go back. But
Yeah.
I think I can go one step further with some iconic music.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. The unmistakable sound and the beat of Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. That was a number one. And of course, the number one album of the year was Thriller. 6 weeks at number one, that one.
Wow.
Only 1 week at number one for Billie Jean. However, it wasn't the biggest selling song of the year. The biggest selling song of 1983 was by the Culture Club and Karma Chameleon.
No
would you believe?
way.
Absolutely. The Christmas number one was Only You by the Flying Pickets. That went to number one on the 10th of December 1983 and was their Christmas number one all the way through to the end of the year, would you believe?
Oh, wow.
Other big hits in 1983, it was an unbelievable year for music, was the UB40 cover of Neil Diamond's classic Red, Red Wine.
Wow.
True by Spandau Ballet.
Amazing song.
Everyone had a first knock to that. Swear to God, in the 80s. You Can't Hurry Love, the Diana Ross and the Supremes classic, covered by Phil Collins. And finally, in that year, there were loads. We could have done this. We could have done a whole podcast on 83 music.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
iconic. And the final one was the Billy Joel classic, not to be mistaken by Billy Ocean.
No.
Someone tends to get those two mixed up.
Me.
Who knew? Uptown Girl was
Love
the
it.
classic song of the year. I think we can all confirm that 1983 was a classic year and we would all very much like to go back.
Yeah.
But for now, Deb, I'm afraid we have to jump back in our time machine. Back to 2021. So that is it for our first ever podcast. Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, I've loved every minute.
It's been good. We will be back Wednesday and every Wednesday, available on all of your podcast providers. Literally all of them.
All of them.
Literally all of them. You will be able to say into Alexa, "Hey Alexa, play the Dougie and Deb podcast." I was waiting for mine to go off then, but it didn't. I was waiting for it to go off, it didn't. So do that. How can people get involved with the show?
So people can get involved. Please get in touch with us. You can contact us via Twitter or Facebook at Dougie and Deb Podcast, or email us at the Dougie and Deb Podcast at gmail.com.
Absolutely. Get involved in the competition. And we want your challenge suggestions as well. From me, Dougie, thank you so much for tuning in. A very, very special mention to Jimmy from 911 for joining us. That was epic. Epic. Another interview and all the fun and games coming next Wednesday. Make sure you subscribe and get involved, and it will be downloaded to your phone or device.
Absolutely.
Very
and
good.
Thank you, Dougie. I've really enjoyed it.
It's been good. We'll be back next Wednesday for another Dougie and Deb podcast. But for now, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. The Dougie and Deb podcast is sponsored by Isla B Bridal Nuneaton. Book an appointment today and shop for all your wedding needs. Visit islabbridal.co.uk.